How did you take on the Gen AI and agentic bandwagon? Because a lot of people say it's too early, and some people say, you missed the bus.
AI has taken on many terms to describe. Most earliest terms were largely mathematical algorithms. When generative AI came along, it was different.
Why do the cybersecurity companies always defend? Why don't they attack?
So the commercial world is not designed for. Many interpretations of Sun Tzu's work come down to actual mathematical precision.
Explain that in the startup jargon.
So in startup jargon, what that means is,
what does someone like you see the cybersecurity market or landscape look like?
if you look back over 15 years, so every time there's a change in the infrastructure, it creates security problems.
What are the two things the CTO of a cybersecurity company must have in this day and age?
The sophistication of attacks is becoming really powerful.
What's your advice to startup founders who are building startups of tomorrow? We are here today on Ctrl All Podcast with Dr. Ratinder Paul Singh Ahuja, who is a serial entrepreneur on his 5th startup. He also happens to be the VP and CTO of Pure Storage. Now, how does one person do this? With 70 plus patents, he has sold his companies, his startups to companies like Cisco, to McAfee and Extreme Networks. And I still have to unpack the story on his 5th startup. Without further ado, let's bring on Dr. Ratinder Paul Singh Ahuja, who is also a martial artist and has a lot of intriguing insights. And I would like to position him as a mover and shaker in the cybersecurity landscape in Silicon Valley. Welcome to Ctrl All Podcast, sir.
Thank you, Vida. Appreciate it. Really excited to be here talking to you.
Wonderful. So, Dr. Singh, I'm very curious. At the age of 29, you sold your first startup. You are a PhD from Iowa State University.
Correct.
Coming out of it, you sold your first startup. How did that happen? How did you know that you were going to build a startup and it was going to click?
Certainly. So I finished my doctorate, I think when I was 25. And I actually did my doctorate in 3 years. So that itself was intriguing to people at Iowa State, saying, hey, here's another one that truly beat the system. And he did escape velocity in 3 years. So I ended up in the Bay Area. My background and training was in data communications and networking. My doctoral thesis was in how do you connect different networks together. So this is a long time ago when things like TCP/IP and DECnet and OSI protocols were prevalent. So, and the predominant network in those days, you may even remember the name, was called NetWare, Novell NetWare. And that was the predominant business network. And the internet was coming up and everybody wanted to connect to the internet. The browser had just come out. So there was a need to connect different networks to the internet. Mm-hmm. Especially if they're not following to the TCP/IP protocol. So I saw this and I said, hey, that's exactly what my doctoral dissertation was. When you pick your doctoral dissertation, you have to kind of project and say, what are you going to add to the field of knowledge?
Yeah.
And that was my contribution, saying, we can foresee at that time many networks and how do you connect them and make applications work across these networks.
So that was Internet Junction, which you sold to Cisco.
Which was acquired by Cisco.
Wow. Yeah.
So that was a direct application of my doctoral work and the change in trend. So now to kind of bring back to saying, you had a question saying, hey, how does somebody do 5 startups?
Yes.
And were you just born lucky or did you manufacture your luck? So now going back to Sun Tzu,
Okay, before that, tell us about you being a black belt in Taekwondo, and you're a 6th degree black belt. What does a 6th degree black belt mean?
So 6th degree black belt means that I've been doing Taekwondo for 40 years.
Wow.
I started judo when I was a teenager in India.
Oh, what got you to start judo? Because it's a little bit uncommon.
Yes, very uncommon. The reason I started judo was because one of my uncles had a book on, one of those books on karate sitting around, judo sitting around.
Yeah.
And I was looking at it and saying, man, this looks really interesting. So I literally grabbed a friend of mine and we said, let's practice this. That's how it started.
Wonderful.
So So that began my journey in martial arts, and I've kept that up to date.
That's amazing.
So
Yeah.
along that, so you can martial arts. You can be very, very physical,
Yeah.
but that reaches a certain limit. I mean, how many times can you do the same jump kick over and over and over? And then it shifts from the very physical aspects of martial arts to more of the philosophy of martial arts and the strategies. And as you study that, you come across this text called The Art of War. And it's written by Sun Tzu.
The Art of War.
Correct.
Yeah.
So all martial artists will study this. Right? It's been translated in countless languages, and it is the textbook on strategy. If you read the original, it is just like even our own text in India, it is very flowery. It's written in a poetic way. And
But you have to decode it.
Yes. the meaning is completely hidden.
Yeah. Does it talk about martial arts or?
It talks about heaven and earth. And you say,
Okay.
what do you mean? What do you mean heaven
yeah,
and earth?
Yeah, exactly.
And the heaven and earth concept applies to everything.
Yeah.
It means the heavens that you cannot control
Yeah.
and the ground that you walk on.
Yeah.
The ground that you walk on is under your control. The change is not.
Yeah.
Change occurs because of many reasons. Applying to what we have today, we got quantum computing coming, and we have quantum safe cryptography coming, and you can say, when did all this happen?
Yeah.
These seeds were sown, 20 years ago, and we're starting to see it now.
Yeah.
So this change occurs, and it impacts the ground. So if it's going to rain, it's going to rain. You're on the ground. You got to make a choice what to do. You want to get wet, or do you want to get some advantage from it?
Yeah.
So, so change is the source of opportunity. In martial arts, when you're competing, people think, oh, I can attack and take advantage. And the reality is, no, you cannot. You can only exploit an opportunity given to you. So your training is, how do you find these opportunities?
So in a startup world, how do you find an opportunity?
Bingo.
And the change is the technology trends, like especially now, we are just swept away with the generative AI, the agentic AI, and who knows what,
Yes,
right?
Exactly. So now that's it. So now you say, the reason this is interesting is because it'll then shed light on what I've done and how
In
I
the
managed.
5 startup landscape and now at Pure Storage.
Yes.
Yeah.
So heaven and earth, the movable and the and something not completely out of your control. So heavens, change in the environment, will impact the marketplace, the ground that you work in, live in,
Yeah.
right? And now you have two aspects: your knowledge of the ground. So you understand he calls it terrain, but in our world it would be the market that is affected by change. If there is a 10x shift in networking, the data center space is impacted, the cloud infrastructure is impacted. So that is your knowledge of the ground and how you navigate that. Vision is, seeing that change coming. You hear distant thunder, and is it going to rain or not? We don't know. But vision intersects reality at some time.
Yeah.
Right? So the visionary will see this thing coming, and they could simply pontificate and say, great things going to happen, AI is going to change everything, fast networking is going to change everything, cryptography, quantum will break cryptography, right? So that's the pontificator,
Right.
the visionary.
Right.
The executioner says,
Like,
what am I going to do about it?
now? Okay.
So this combination, and the story will become complete soon. So this combination of the philosopher and the executioner is key.
Yeah.
So if you cannot execute, you're a great pontificator. You can teach, you can preach. Nothing will come out of it.
Yeah.
So now what happens is, so the executor will say, I can see an impact happening. I'm going to position myself
Yeah.
to take advantage. So you act.
Yeah.
And now you're taking these actions and trying to position into a market.
Yeah.
In reality, what will happen is your knowledge is imperfect, your vision is flawed, your actions are broken, and your positioning is incorrect. So nobody's going to pay you for what you've just done. You build something. So in our startup world, meaning I didn't understand the market properly, the trend is going in a different direction. I built something that is buggy, and nobody's going to pay for it.
Right.
So that is reality. So now Sun Tzu says the only way out is fast iteration. So you understand the cost of the campaign, the time and the energy it's going to take, and that must allow for this iterative progress cycle.
So this move fast and break things is a good thing,
Yes,
according to Sun Tzu.
right. So you pick these bits and pieces, and you hear this, all around us, but the complete picture is what I just described.
Wow, got it. Yeah, yeah.
So if you just break fast,
it comes from there.
It comes from there. But if you do things in isolation, you can say I'm the master of execution, right? And that doesn't help you, because if you don't understand, if you don't have vision and knowledge,
Yeah,
you're the best executioner, but I don't know what you're doing.
yeah,
Right? You'll see many engineers are like, and they are the best of the best of the best.
yeah,
But without the knowledge and the and vision, it is an isolation.
yeah.
Positioning, right? The break fast and do stuff, right? So that's your positioning aspect, and you say,
Yeah.
didn't work, and the fourth time you say still doesn't work. What's wrong? Because the other aspects are missing. Your execution is wrong because you're building something which is just not fitting the market, right?
Yeah,
So that's how the whole picture comes together. And then for each aspect, there are many properties. So the many interpretations of the Sun Tzu's work come down to actual mathematical precision.
and explain that
Yes.
in the startup jargon.
Yes. So in startup jargon, what that means is, so you know how much money is going to need. That's your funding, right? You know how much is going to get spent on execution and positioning. So all that has to be formulated. And if you don't, you're bound to overspend. You're bound to just run out of resources and energy and time with no outcome. And you have
And-
investors and you have customers, and they're all angry now.
So that applies here to the work you do at Pure Storage as well.
So now, yes, certainly. So I'm Pure Storage. I'm the CTO for Security and AI. And my job is to help Pure Storage products have a very mature security profile. So we continuously improve the security posture. So when I first came in, the mission and vision was clear, what we should do. The execution had to be created in such a way so the entire organization is behind it. So I put together what is called the 6-point DevSecOps program at Pure, and I evangelized that throughout the organization. So it became everybody's job as opposed to just my job. And now we have the entire company, with the blessing of our leadership, our CEO Charlie Giancarlo, and our founder Cause, that we now have a company culture that takes security front and center.
Wonderful. And how did you take on the Gen AI and agentic bandwagon? Because
Yeah.
again, what was your take on precision? Because a lot of people say it's too early, the market is too early, and some people say, you missed the bus. How do you know you did the right thing?
Yeah, perfect. So I still remember, November 2022 when ChatGPT first came out, and I've been tracking AI since. So AI has taken on many terms to describe it. The most earliest terms were largely mathematical, algorithms.
Yeah.
So data science
Yeah.
and machine learning.
Yep.
So those were largely statistical methods, and they had great applications in manufacturing and
They had deterministic outcomes.
yeah, and you were using statistics
Yeah.
to to get to some outcomes and
Yeah.
doing some prediction based on statistics, roughly, right? And there's always been this talk of an AI transformed enterprise. But the problem was you needed highly skilled experts in mathematics and physics
Yeah.
to take advantage of this.
Yeah.
And only the biggest companies could invest in that, and the large financials and the large oil and natural gas and those kind of verticals would invest heavily in it, and they would get value from it.
Yeah.
When generative AI came along, it was different. And what I discussed with the leadership here was that how the Gen AI transformed enterprise, the time has come for that. So
Yeah.
now we have vision and reality intersecting. So the leadership said, hey, put together a program. Then I put together what we call our Gen AI adoption program.
That's interesting. I'd like to unpack that. How do you make an entire organization adopt a new technology like Gen AI?
Yeah.
Because Gen AI can have hallucinations or undeterministic
Many
outputs.
problems,
Yeah.
absolutely. So especially, and as matured, and it'll continue to mature. So So to make this change happen, I created a process where each department would hold Gen AI centric hackathons. And the whole idea was to have them intrinsically surface high value outcomes. So instead of somebody else telling them, hey, you must improve your order processing system, it's taking too long, it's too expensive, and too many resources being involved, it was better for the department to come to that realization themselves. And then I would have the team to help build the solution. So now this was perfect because now we had alignment of vision and the ground, the actual ground reality.
Yeah.
Right. So that synergy comes. So again, same principles being applied, positioning into now. Then in this case, the marketplace is the people at Pure.
Yeah.
Right, and they see it and they believe in it, and it becomes their mission.
Yeah.
Because they will get the benefit from it, right? Yeah. So we did this in many departments.
So here you are at Pure Storage, but if you go a little bit back from your journey at Pure Storage, you came from ShieldX acquisition of Fortinet. How did you make a segue into the corporate world?
Yeah. So typically, my first startup I sold to Cisco. I stayed at Cisco for 4 years. Then I did my second startup, acquired by Extreme Networks.
This WebStack, was that WebStack?
Yes, that was
Extreme?
WebStack to Extreme.
What did you do at WebStack?
So now let me draw the connection to each one of them and the philosophy that we're talking about, right? So the first one was the emergence of TCP/IP as a predominant network, and the fact that you still had large existing IPX Novell networks, right? So that was the the change that happened. And we took it right.
So you rode the wave. Yeah, yes. You rode the wave. And the next one. Now networking is booming. The speeds are going from 10 to 100 to gigabit to 10 gig, right? So getting faster and faster and faster. Yeah.
And in that now, given that we are in that networking space, understanding the market, so I see another pain point where you cannot process application content at 10 gigabits per second. And in those days, all this was done in software and was impossible. You had to now have very complex load balancing architectures to manage that.
Yeah. So why did you do a startup? What about the other people? Everybody was facing the same problem.
Yeah.
But they all adjusted to it. But how did you know that, look, if I make this bet, this is going to pay off? How did you know?
Yes. So this is where, again, the vision of ever-increasing network speeds and its impact on content processing came in, right? And I could see it.
Yeah.
And I could execute.
Yeah, but were you in the red ocean or the blue ocean? How did you know that you were going to create a differentiated value?
Yes, absolutely. So there was a blue ocean in the sense that nobody was attempting to do this at that speed with a new architecture, right? So it would clear up a new way of doing it, whereas the old ways were almost impossible to scale. So Extreme Network, which is a pioneer in high-speed networking, they're doing extremely well, pun intended. So they acquired WebStacks.
And then you moved to...
Yeah, so then, now this is another interesting story. So after that, martial art training is going on. And as part of martial art training, there is a branch of martial arts called Qigong.
Qigong.
Which is actually based on yoga practices. So,
is that Bruce Lee's invention?
No. So Bruce Lee modified certain martial arts to come with his style. But the root of all martial arts comes from a South Indian Buddhist monk, a prince, all the way from south of India. The southernmost tip of India goes all the way to Tibet. Bodhidharma is his name.
Wow. Is this Kalari Payato or is it different?
Yes, it is related to that.
Wow.
Right? So the roots are from there.
Wow. Okay.
So Bodhidharma goes all the way to Tibet and those areas and says, I'm here to teach Buddhism and help you achieve spirituality. But the conditions there are so tough that people die by the time they're 35, no food, tough condition, harsh conditions. So he says, no, first I have to help you get healthier. Only then can you achieve any spirituality. So he modifies Indian yoga concepts, broad, everything from breathing to meditation to physical hatha yoga, the hard yoga styles, right? He takes the entire combination and creates a system called the bone marrow transformation exercises.
Oh my God.
And the theory is...
That's unheard of.
Yes. And the theory is, if you don't have enough food, you can't build big muscles.
Yeah.
But the skeletal muscles are actually stronger than the outer muscles.
Wow.
So and your bone marrow and your ability to produce blood cells is fundamental to how you function, and along with meditation and breathing and so forth, right? So he literally transformed yoga practices into something called the bone marrow transformation exercise, and that became the root of all martial arts.
Oh my God.
Now, interesting, right? So they call India the Western
Yeah. Yeah.
Western lands,
Yeah.
and Dharma came from the Western lands
Yeah.
to the Eastern lands.
That's right.
So the Eastern martial arts
Yeah.
have roots in
South India.
in South India.
Amazing. It's incredible.
Yeah. So so now
We're going to Qigong, and we're
Yes.
talking about your third startup.
yes. So
You're
as
coming out of Extreme Networks.
Yes. So as part of Qigong, there is a very esoteric practice called the dark room training.
Oh
So-
my God. This is getting really
So
interesting.
this is really interesting. So what happens is, so the human body is controlled by the endocrine system.
Yeah.
All ancient yoga practices are designed to help you deal with the endocrine system and the 5 organs, right?
The 5 organs is in.
The heart, the lungs, the liver, the spleen, kidneys, right? So the basic 5 organs and your endocrine system.
Most people don't know this.
You gotta
So it's
make
good
sure
that you mentioned this.
you have to take care of the 5 organs and your endocrine system.
Yeah.
So everything
Is
starts from
it
there.
because you told that in martial arts because you have to fight, or is it for everyone?
It's for everything and everyone.
Even women, even
They should
pregnant
understand-
women.
Everybody should understand this concept.
Okay.
Because and not to argue between the esoteric and the Western medical system, they all are really wonderful, but disease will begin from one of those essential organs and the endocrine system. So the endocrine system, so in the brain there are 3 glands: the hypothalamus, the thymus, and the pituitary. The pituitary's job is to create growth hormone,
Right.
which helps you grow and stay healthy.
Yeah. Does it also help with longevity and youth?
Yes, because the human growth hormone, and it is produced in micrograms, a little bit, right? And that's all the body needs to grow to, from 0 to 25 years of age.
Yeah.
And then the pituitary gland says, we're done. You're a big boy, a big girl now. So you don't need growth hormone. And that's when aging and decay begins. So many of the esoteric practices, including Indian yoga, are designed to get the pituitary gland to fire up again. Right? So how do you do that? Many practices. One of them is the dark room practice, which cuts off light. So you literally stay in a dark room for, in my case, 2 weeks. And the theory is that once the olfactory, the eye nerves are crossed behind the pituitary, and if you stop the stimulation of the eyes,
Gets rest.
it gets rest. The pituitary gland awakens,
Active. Oh.
and you just need a little bit for health to improve, right? So now at this time I've done many years of taekwondo. I've done I have a qigong master that I studied qigong with.
Even now.
Even now.
Wow.
And
Okay.
and so I come across this concept of hey, this dark room training, and I'm intrigued, and I really need to get myself to get to the next level. So me and my qigong master, we go all the way up to the hills of Thailand, Chiang Mai, in Thailand, and there's a teacher there who has a very elaborate school.
Even today, they have schools which teach these things.
Absolutely, yeah.
And in the pristine, traditional way.
Traditional way.
Wow.
Up in the hills, isolated in the hills of.
How do they make money?
People like me go there and study.
Oh, so you have to
Yeah,
donate
you pay
or whatever.
tuition.
Yeah.
It's a regular program. So one of those programs is darkroom training, and I'm like really excited. I said, "Let's go!" So I dragged my qigong master with me. I said, "Let's go. We're going to darkroom training, and we stay in this. I call this a 5-star cave. It's a building he's designed especially for this. He covers it up with tarp. You can't see your hand in front of you. It's dark, and you have your own room and bath. Right?
my
It's a
God.
5-star cave." And
Can you hear any sounds also? Is the sound also cut off?
so there are meditation classes during the day, and a sort of a schedule. But other than that, it's quiet and dark.
Wonderful.
So I stay there, and other people had visions and all kinds of stuff, and I say, all I see is darkness. That's great. I'm rested. So I come out of that at nighttime. They let you get up. Finally, when the course is finished for 2 weeks, you come out at night, and they give you dark glasses to wear at night.
What's going on there?
Yeah, because everything is so bright and everything just looks like, wow, stunning. I never realized, grass was.
Life is so beautiful.
Yeah. And then I come out, there's an email, and there's 2 weeks of absolutely no contact with the world and no idea what's going on, and your mind is completely blank, right? Now, empty mind is another philosophy that we try to achieve, which is this source of ideas. Because if you're always the monkey mind, your left and the right brain fight each other and you can't get anything done.
100%.
And the quiet mind is where inspiration comes
and
from.
enters you. Yeah.
So you can calm down and come up with an idea.
So am I hearing you got your next startup idea in the dark room?
Outside, yes. When I come out, I have an email from a friend which says, and this is, at this time, there's again a shift has happened in the whole. So, and I'll connect these dots together. So what has happened is the network attacks were infrastructure related. That means if you remember, go way back when, you had eBay and Yahoo were down because somebody's doing a denial of service attack on eBay or Yahoo, and you can't. So it was just fun and games, somebody's bringing down the network. But then now networking is improving, and you have now web applications, and now you have transactions and commerce and banking happening on the internet. And this created a new risk. Now your privacy information is on the web, on the network, right? And the attackers figured out that they can monetize this information better, right? So you can steal your credit card number and so the attack shifts, so the risk shifted, and this was the opportunity. So when I come out, it's like, whoa, there's a new threat vector around privacy and intellectual property and things being stolen and getting monetized.
Yeah.
And because I had done my previous, the one that got acquired by Extreme, where we had come up the stack and started looking at application traffic, I said, I can look at content next. So I put together the whole idea, and again, it was a shift in the trend, impact to the market, and the ability to execute and position, and I got that funded and got that done. So that was a direct application of the concepts.
Yeah, just a very serendipitous moment for me. I spent many years writing books in this space, meditation, yoga, and connecting martial arts to corporate leadership. And I used to bring this in my workshops for life coaching, but I would coach corporate employees. It's just like a dream that, I don't know, it just happened. I came to you because of your cybersecurity expertise. I listened to you on a panel, and then this is so surreal. You're unpacking this whole wonderful.
So
go ahead.
So this company was called ReconX.
ReconX.
It was acquired by McAfee. And then I was CTO for network security at McAfee for many years.
Wow. So, and you aced the Gartner's quadrant. There was a special mention.
Consistently
about
Gartner leader in
data loss prevention, right?
I have, I don't know, 50 patents on data loss prevention.
Yeah. Can you tell me one thing? How did you align your patent with the profitable business idea? Because most patents may or may not make money, but yours did 50 plus. So how did that also happen?
So every one of these opportunities was inventing new ways of doing things. And so I had a pretty aggressive patent strategy along with it.
What is that like? Is it something you can share, or?
So it's just a methodology. Just writing patents is another methodology. It takes time and resources, of course.
So you kind of optimized it.
Yeah. So I optimized it, where I'm able to describe, what I want to build, and have the the patent lawyers take that. And that goes on even to date here.
Wow.
So,
amazing. So none of this has got to do anything to do with your PhD. These patents are fully different.
Yeah. The first company was directly related to
from your postdoc.
Doctoral, but it was still networking and sort of evolving as networking keeps on going up.
Yeah, 50 plus is crazy.
Well, actually, I now have about 100 I think it's like 120 or so now.
So the internet information is dated.
He can't keep up.
Okay.
So
now it's updated.
Yeah, so McAfee acquired that company, and then I was at McAfee, which is leading security brand.
Absolutely.
Very strong network security portfolio. So I was CTO for that portfolio, and then the next change comes along. So there was 2 changes: mobile and cloud.
Yeah.
Right. And here's something really interesting that happened. So each of these changes, there was a lag between the larger companies, the incumbents, adopting and doing something about it. So if you remember back, cloud was a fad, it's going to go
It
away,
was.
right?
For a while it was.
5 years, many
It
years.
came up and then the prices went up and people said
Many
people are going to
dynamics,
move
right?
away from cloud.
Yeah. So the many dynamics, it's unsecure, who would go there? Why would I put business apps there? Many iterations of, but that gave us opportunity, startups, many, not just me, many startups got an opportunity to innovate in that space.
Why didn't you stick with the naysayers? Why did you, change the narrative?
Coming back to
Again, the
vision.
same vision and reality. Okay.
Vision intersects reality.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And having having that vision to say, I can see it.
You can see it.
And execute.
Yeah.
And position. Right. So many people can see it.
So one question I have to ask. I've interviewed so many Silicon Valley change makers. A lot of them have PhDs or they're from IITs. So did your PhD training give you the sense of making certain predictions? Is that what a PhD does?
It's a training, right? It's just a focused training. It's like 2-3 years of focusing and they have the ability to go deeper into subjects and add to the pool of knowledge. That's the actual definition of
add to the pool of knowledge. That's interesting. Yeah.
So
you have to keep publishing. Yeah.
You can't just say, I read all this and I'm telling you, right? That's not enough. You have to say, and here's how you take the next step. What is the improvement that you contribute? What is your contribution to the field?
Amazing. Yeah. So go ahead.
Yeah. So now this cloud and security. So now network security was very strong in the enterprise networks, but cloud became a different angle.
Yeah.
And you couldn't take the network security was dominated by appliances, so you can't take a big appliance, physical appliance, and into the cloud. So this is where the need for invention came in, and I invented the concept of how you take what is a physical system and decompose it into small containers, microservices, and elastically scale and orchestrate all of it. Right? So that
amazing.
So that was
that was ShieldX.
That was ShieldX.
Wow.
That was acquired. Now COVID happened and many situations happened along the way.
Yeah. So 2021 is when you had the exit.
Exit from that. So then I was just doing my research and studying up on things, and then Pure Storage had an opportunity to have somebody lead their security program. So Pure Storage is a storage company, not a security company.
Mm-hmm.
But again, what happened was every large enterprise customer was demanding their vendors to have improved security posture.
Yeah.
So I had some Charlie Giancarlo, the CEO here, great visionary. I've known him from my Cisco days. In fact, even a startup before that.
And how did that happen?
So one of the before I started Internet Junction, one of the companies that I worked with was for Charlie Giancarlo, and they were doing ATM switching against very advanced technology concept long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
So since then, he's been blessing me in each of my startups, and I've had the good fortune of having him as a guide and a mentor. And
so kind of a legend of sorts.
Oh, he is a legend in his own right.
Mm-hmm.
And so then this discussion came along about at this time there are too many security products. Right? There's no shortage of you can get any security product you need. Yet you have breaches, and yet you have this, and the number of incidents is increasing every year. It's more than the last year.
Yeah.
So the need is to have just like you build a system and you say it needs to perform, it needs to be manageable, it needs to be usable.
Yeah.
It needs to be secure.
Mm-hmm.
And was not built into the DNA of companies. Mm-hmm. And that's what I set out to do here. And again, set up the the DevSecOps program that became part of how engineering teams work at Pure.
So the developers, have inbuilt security practices.
Yeah, and security, just like every other, has esoteric vernacular,
mm-hmm.
right? The talk in riddles. Mm-hmm. I think that's the problem, right? You're not making it clear for the average engineer what do you need to do.
Yeah.
So my whole job was to simplify security to the point where it says, this is just natural. This is exactly what I do, and it just happens.
Yeah.
Again, talking about the progress cycle, nothing happens overnight.
Yeah.
So you have to have this constant positioning and improvement and execution. So I created the whole cycle where every 6 months it progresses, right? And we can see, and Pure as a company, we saw our security posture improve. Nothing is never done because threats keep on increasing.
Yeah.
But there is a methodology to keep improving. So, and that is what strategy is. End of the day, if you say, what is strategy? You know, how do you define strategy? And the definition of strategy, after distilling everything, is a systematic, almost mathematical, precise way to continue to show improvement.
Yeah. The Shinzu technique.
Yeah.
Is that Kaizen? Is that what they call Kaizen? Or
Kaizen is a methodology that comes to adopt these constant improvement, right?
Right. Yeah. That's right. Yeah. So, you know, one question I want to ask, like, this security landscape is moving so fast with another added layer of AI. What do people like you look at the security landscape like? What is the market looking like? You've seen so many waves, and you're in a position, you're a very disciplined operator. Can I say that?
Yeah.
Because for you, the method comes first, and then your action. You don't just act out of instinct. You have, even if you're predicting something, it looks like magic. There's a lot of orchestration you do. So tell me, you know, how do you cope up with the methodology in the moving landscape? They're like absolutely opposite ends.
So, especially taking AI into account. So there's just so much noise about AI security. In fact, we've written blogs and patents on this aspect as well.
Yeah, at Pure Storage, you talk about it a lot.
Yes.
Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah. And and I remind people that if I didn't tell you that OpenAI or any of your AI providers it's a database. You think of it as a database.
Yeah.
And I said, now build a database application. You know how to secure that, right?
Yeah.
And you would say, yeah, absolutely. I know how to secure clients and servers and APIs and traffic going in and out. I said, so great. You're 90% there.
Yeah.
So now you just need to see what's different. And that is content going in and out of the large language models.
Right.
And how do you secure that? Now, there's a whole other aspect saying how do you train language models and what's the data security behind that. But if you really break it down to fundamental principles,
yeah,
there's a small delta you have to do to secure AI applications.
I like that. I like the way you put it. Most people are like, no clue. But, you know, you
stop hyperventilating. And go back to and in fact, that was the discussion point during that the presentation we were having, right?
Yes, at the CISO roundtable.
Yes, at the CISO roundtable.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of hyperventilation about it. And I think once I kind of set the tone saying, no, just go back to the basics and the principles. And people then eventually said, yes, if I do the fundamentals right, then I can identify exactly what extra needs to be done, as opposed to just doing a full 360, everything upside down and not getting anywhere.
So I have one question. Every other day I'm seeing new publications from people out of Google or OpenAI. These are some of their visiting scholars from PhDs from universities. How do you translate those findings? When do you know not to panic, or when do you know? Because recently there's this thing, Walmart Labs. They have a AI agent negotiating a contract or a deal, which B2B sales people do.
Yes.
So agent to agent negotiation is in the works.
Yes.
So what do you do? Like, do you shudder or do you not?
No. I think so kind of starting from the business value.
Yeah.
Right. And establishing the business value of doing this. To give you an example, and again, we published this all public domain. We have an HR bot. We have a security operations agent bot. We have purchase acquisition, PO processing type bots, right? So those are business processes. And identifying which business process could be improved is where it starts.
Yeah.
Right. And once you identify that and say, okay, yes, so we do, and Walmart probably has, 100,000 suppliers, and they got to go negotiate everything from, glass to plastics to everything that, comes back and forth. So as a business process, they identified what could be done there. And then turning a business process into agentic workflow. So we created at Pure, and other companies are probably doing the same thing, which is going through that discovery. Now, what happens is these complicated processes, they work in these large enterprises, and they've been doing it for years, and there is tribal knowledge. There's some standard operating procedure written down, and a lot of tribal knowledge of how this works. So we built a system at Pure that does this discovery. It gets this information from the subject matter experts to understand what is purchase acquisition, processing. What exactly do you mean by that, right? So that discovery then tells us how the bots must function, and then how to make it secure.
Yeah.
So it starts from the business value and benefit, and then sort of working backwards to what actually needs to get done, and do it with security, of course.
Yeah.
So this now at scale, this itself needs automation, and that's also something that we're working at Pure
Yeah.
to build, and what I call the bot factory.
Yeah. What if they come up with some original behavior which you can't predict? Do you know how to secure that?
Yes, so that's where some of these concepts of guardrails comes along, and this comes back to another fundamental thing, which is just what is the policy, and the policy comes from the business needs,
Yeah.
and automating that and making it precise.
Yeah.
Because if I leave it to you and me, we would make mistakes because we can't define the policy properly, and that's where things escape. So we built a system, which is also something we published. It's about guardrails.
At Pure Storage.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's about guardrails for AI.
Yeah.
And that's one of our inventions, which says, how do I take business artifacts and standard operating procedures and things that because if I talk to you about security, you'll be like, I have a bigger problem. I need to understand how to make my business work better.
Yeah.
Right? We say, great, that's what you want to do, and continue doing that. And then from there, we will automatically build the security policy. So that is something that we've built to make sure that these things get built with security upfront.
Amazing. Amazing.
So this change allows us again to innovate and position with our marketplace for a better outcome.
Wonderful. And so these guardrails, are they very domain specific, like vertical integration, or
no? So because that is the problem. Because if I said, hey, okay, we're going to talk about on hospital bots, so we have to talk about PHI and securing PII and all that stuff, right? And then you go to somebody else and it's different
there's
domain,
something else, yeah.
right? And somebody else has another domain.
Yeah.
So the system we built
Yeah.
says, I don't really care. I will go off of your business artifacts.
Yeah.
And your requirements and your PRDs and your MRDs and all the things that you're talking about, what you're trying to do,
Yeah.
and it drives it from there with automation. So that's the beauty of what we did, which says, I learned from your standard business artifacts.
Wonderful. And is this a good segue for you to talk about your fifth startup?
Certainly. Yeah. So what happened was, every other change that came, there was a lag between the incumbents and the startups acting on it, right? So startups would work faster, get something of value. When Gen AI came along, you saw the incumbents immediately spent billions.
Yes.
So it squeezed, it squeezes out the startup space because you can't. To give you a simple example, when OpenAI first came along, there were like 100 PDF extraction companies. Oh, I can process PDFs, right? Because it wasn't there natively. And the next day it was there natively, right? And then somebody says, okay, great, I'll build connectors to something. And the next day OpenAI says, oh, I got every connector you can imagine, and so forth, right? So because, and then Google and all the incumbents,
Microsoft.
including infrastructure companies like Pure. We have an AI bot to manage storage. Security companies have AI bots to help manage security, right?
Yeah.
So the incumbent said, oh, I get it, I'm investing. So you couldn't build a security bot because the incumbents are doing it.
Yeah.
Right. So, but clearly this is an opportunity worth getting into, and there are some of these incredibly high tech, what I call the pure math type of opportunities, where you're innovating at the fundamental levels of how neural networks are built, and there's a class of people doing that, and they're very successful, right? You can see massive investment there.
Yep.
There is massive investment in infrastructure innovation, right? So really large investments needed at the what I call the fundamentals of math and physics to innovate at that level, right? But the internet showed us that a larger opportunity was there for the applications that get delivered, right?
The software delivery.
Meaning, for example, Facebook
Yeah.
wasn't a networking company. It delivered messaging, it delivered interactions on the internet, right?
Yeah.
So they didn't build the internet, but they used the internet to create massive value.
Right.
So, small e-commerce companies delivered massive value because they use the internet to deliver Amazon,
Right.
right? So AI is like that, right? So AI is now it's infrastructure, utility, and now there will be value-added services on top. But the problem is the incumbents are investing heavily. Walmart is there. Everybody's investing heavily in it, right? So where is the open ground?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I'm at the board of this company, by the way. So it's not a direct startup. I'm on the board chair for a company that is AI for dentistry. So now you say, what? But that's the law. That's the Sun Tzu's law, which says you can't go where everybody's there. Right? There's no opportunity. And over here in dentistry, nobody's investing in it. It's just not considered, big enough, or it's just not. Medical, yes, but dentistry, no. My sister happens to be a dentist, and she has a set of friends that are dentists. So we had a discussion one day, and in all medical practices, documentation is a pain in the neck, right?
Yeah.
And if you have friends that are doctors or dentists, you can ask
Electronic medical record.
yeah, and how do you write a
keeping
SOAP
and all
note,
that.
right? There's something called a SOAP note, which is a record of the interaction that happened. And everybody hates it. But it's absolutely needed for compliance and many, many reasons.
It's a burnout, causes burnout.
Yes,
Yeah.
you can look at this and they'll be like, I don't know doctor or dentist wants to do documentation, but it's necessary. So we took that and it's like perfect opportunity. Nobody's investing in it. It's a pain in the neck for the practitioners, and AI is here to help.
Yeah.
So the product that DentScribe ships is a co-pilot, dentist's co-pilot, that listens into the conversations with the patient dentist, turns it into an official SOAP note, integrates with the practice management system. But here is the value. The AI then inspects the order notes and surfaces missed opportunities for revenue. So literally, see,
That's
AI, the promise of
incredible. Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
so the
yeah.
promise of AI is to turn data into money,
Yeah.
and it's a cliche and very hard to prove. And in this one, the co-pilot literally pops up and says, last 4 sessions, you talked about some condition, and it's not been planned. And it pops it up and says, here is a production opportunity.
I like this, a very good use case.
Yes.
It can be applied in multiple verticals, not just dentistry.
correct.
Yeah, I like that.
So, so again, why dentistry? Because if I follow the laws of Sun Tzu and the blue ocean, red ocean concepts, you want to have space and time to execute, and now they are in revenue and and moving along.
Wonderful.
So this was again change happened, right?
Yeah.
connecting the change which was not under our control. GenAI just came out, and then just took over.
Yeah, what does someone like you see the cybersecurity market or landscape look like? I mean, the line I'm thinking is, which is endpoint, which is cloud, which is AI. Or do you see any differentiation, or do you see them merging? What do you see?
Yeah. So what has happened is, if you look back over 15 years, pick your, and so you see the attack surface continuously increasing, right? And you see the response from the industry coming back and saying, okay, now you got cloud, okay, we got cloud security, right? And now you have mobile, we have mobile security, right? Now you have, instead of using a database, you're using Gen AI, and we can control what goes in and out of that AI model. Or you're building a model. There are ways to make sure the data that's being used to train the model isn't poisoned, right? You need to make sure your model doesn't spew out, hate speech, right?
Yeah.
Or restricted speech, and there's ways to control that. Right? So every time there's a change in the infrastructure, it creates security problems. That's a fundamental reason why the industry continues to do great.
Yeah.
Because every shift, from the basic mainframe to a mini computer to a laptop to a desktop to mobile to networking, every time the structure changed, the infrastructure changed,
There's
it
some
created a security problem.
new threat vector.
Right?
Yeah.
So this, and then the workforce behavior changes, right? And now we are more mobile. We are working from wherever we want to. So this constant shift in infrastructure gives opportunity for the security industry to keep on innovating and solving this problem.
Yeah. What is the cybersecurity for supercomputing or super intelligence look like? It's all-encompassing super intelligence, which is much smarter than anything Like, what does a security for a mammoth creature like that look like?
Yeah. So again, sort of breaking it down to the fundamentals. So if you said, okay, hey, we're building this mega data center somewhere,
Yes.
and it's going to be the AI brains for the next LLM, large language model.
Yeah, there was an outage in Amazon yesterday. I was thinking,
Right.
if that is a security for your data, your operations, why isn't outage considered a issue?
So it's end of the day, it's a business continuity problem. So when a business cannot function, you don't really care whether it was somebody unplugged the wire, or we lost power supply, or there was a flood, or there was a security attack. Right? End of the day, it's a business continuity issue.
Yeah.
right? So when you build a enterprise environment, you start at business continuity and work backwards, right? So so you want to say, okay, great. If earthquake happens, it's not under our control. How do we continue to serve?
So it's upon us, the business owners, not upon the service providers.
And they do the same. The service
They
provider is
also
also
do
looking
the
at
same
it,
because
saying,
it's their business. Okay.
yeah, they're saying, hey, I got to make sure my services, no matter if there's a flood over here,
Yeah.
I still have to continue.
Yeah.
So at the highest level, you really want to look at it as a business continuity problem and address
Yeah.
that, right?
Yeah.
Through redundancy and many techniques to do so, right? Now, so your question was, hey, if somebody's building this big mega data center,
Super intelligence.
so yeah, super intelligence, what should we be doing? So I say, let's come back to the fundamentals and start from business continuity as your main problem. Now, when you're building something like this, it is getting regulated.
Yeah.
So your compliance and regulations and ethics and all those issues have to be addressed,
Yeah.
right? And then you keep coming down, and then eventually you say, okay, great. End of the day, it's a data center with wires and cables and network switches and compute and servers and operating sites.
Those things you know.
We continue to score. So every time something at the top changes, those concepts of business continuity and compliance and audit and all those functions have to evolve to suit that.
Yeah.
Right, and a framework will come along, and now there's NIST frameworks for AI.
So if you're to make a decision on merger and acquisition using this concept, how would you make a call that this acquisition is worth it? You've been acquired 4 times yourself. Yeah. So how did they make that call that, because there's always this build versus buy dilemma.
Yeah, right. But fundamentally, they would have to say, is this trend here to stay? Like data loss prevention, ReconX, the company, now DLP is $1 billion space. And somebody at McAfee had to make a call saying, this is not a fad.
Yeah.
This is going to be here for decades to come in one form or the other. Whether it's a physical system in the data center or a cloud and hosted environment or a language model, feeding data. This problem is here too. So somebody had the vision on the other side. So that's the fundamental way to look at it, saying, is this a tactical point problem now?
Yeah.
Or is this, because acquiring company will take them years to sort of roll it out into the system, and a large company like Cisco acquires something, it takes them time. So that's how you look at it and saying, is this a fad or is it a multi-year trend that will continue to change the marketplace, right? So that's the lens you look at.
Yeah. I mean, especially in cybersecurity, so many new acquisitions, all the time. It's incredible how you know which one is here to stay. On that note, I want to ask some thumb rules which guide you, in your daily work. About building companies. What is one of those main thumb rules? And of course, you go back to Sun Tzu's advice. But really, what is the discipline or what is that practice which works for you building a company? And how do you advise the upcoming startup founders to look at it?
Yeah. So so again, sort of taking back the lessons of Sun Tzu, which lays out in mathematical precision how you need to operate, right? Including the funding you would need, and make sure
hiring, building a team.
Yeah. The characteristics. It is so detailed to the point. The characteristics of a leader are the 9 fundamental properties of a leader.
Okay.
Which you must know about and analyze.
No. If you can name a few.
Even the most fundamental one, is this person a temperamental person? Because
you should not be. It's not good.
You cannot be single function based, right? You cannot be, because you have to analyze many things as a leader.
Yeah.
Right. So there is ways to analyze every situation, the competition, your competitive positioning. Right, so everything is mathematically laid out and boils down to 5 points to do this and 10 points to do that. Right. So having that, some people just intuitively know it.
Yeah.
They're just intuitively good at understanding this.
Yeah, I'm going to rent a Sun Tzu bot.
GPT.
Sun Tzu GPT.
They are already out there. Some people, for example, if you went to an MBA and you came out of that, and you would be doing the same thing because you got trained, right?
Yeah.
So there's many ways to kind of come to that, but it is good to be conscious of the building blocks, because then you can make the right thing. And then I think and then it comes down to people, process, and execution.
PPE. People process execution.
Yes. So that's really important because that's where, especially in a startup, because you don't have time,
Yeah.
right? And you have limited runway.
Yeah.
And if your people process and execution is not in step,
Yeah.
it's like disaster after disaster. The person is not fitting, it doesn't work, and the building is not correct. So that's the biggest challenge. You can misfire there, and your best laid strategy and plans, take a hit.
Yeah. And obviously, you're in the cybersecurity space. You're in the bleeding edge of it. What are the one or two things the CTO of a cybersecurity company must have in this day and age?
Yeah. So I think what is going on now is the sophistication of attacks is becoming really powerful.
When you say sophistication, what do you
I'll give
mean?
you a recent example. So, there was what is called a supply chain attack that happened recently.
In which company?
No, it was in the code. That means the source code, the open source code that we download.
Wow.
Like billions of people, applications use that open source code, and the threat actor figured out a way to compromise that.
My God.
Right, and now their little compromised piece of software is running in a billion places.
It's a B2C attack.
Yeah.
Wow.
So so that's So what is happening is the sophistication of these attacks with they're using Gen AI. That is becoming incredibly sophisticated, and that's a nightmare because the threat actors they're literally large organizations, set up.
Yeah, they're thriving.
Single function, saying your job is to just do this, and they methodically plan their campaign to achieve that, right? So
last week, 3 days back to back, I've had a phishing attack.
Yeah. Oh.
I mean, this has never happened before. I have like 3 in a month. This is back to back 3 days, and my God, the nature of it.
Yes, because Gen AI helps them understand you.
Hyper personalized.
Yes.
My God.
Now Gen AI understands you. And I, as a threat actor, use that to craft an attack, and it's just like, oh, this looks like something that I would react to.
Yeah, I'd use my podcast.
Yeah, probably it'll look like it came from me. Saying, hey, So that's what is happening. The sophistication of the attacks is becoming.
That's a scary one.
Very scary.
Yeah.
And and people that are trying to protect and defend, they also need similar tools now.
Yeah.
So AI for security is the counter argument.
Yeah. And what are some of the lessons from martial arts which you want to bring in this context?
Yes.
Of staying ahead of the sophisticated attackers?
Yeah. So I think so if the attacker's technique is improving, right, then my defense techniques should also have to improve. So in martial arts, I would say, your taekwondo opponent now also happens to know jujitsu and boxing, and you're still a single function.
So one question, that's a great example. I mean, one question I get is, why do the cybersecurity companies always defend? Why don't they attack?
So I think there's a lot of political reasons, and
we can't attack them.
So the commercial world is not designed for offensive operations. There are others that do offensive operations as state actors, and don't get me wrong, there are people that do that.
In cybersecurity, they do exist, and they are okay doing it, and they're allowed to do it.
They're under some other directives to do that, but the commercial world, their mandate is to defend.
Yeah, this is going 24/7. The defense is on 24/7. It's incredible, and it's autonomous, automated.
Yeah. So the way we are reacting at Pure is to say everything. Just like when we build products, we say, hey, performance and manageability and usability are fundamental core tenets of what we build.
Yeah.
Security is part of that fundamental tenet that we build, right? So we build it from ground up. Everything that we do has security built into it. It's not a separate function.
Yeah.
So that's the way to kind of look at it, saying harden it. So we actually have a project that we call Avocado, hard on the inside, right?
Oh.
Which means we live in a compromised world, right? And you just have to keep hardening the insides so the impact is less and less.
Yeah. Yeah, amazing. That's a great analogy to think about. I'd like to respect your time. Are there any specific advice you have for cybersecurity professionals to equip themselves for the landscape of tomorrow?
Yeah. So I think so. The fundamental advice is understand the fundamentals. Right. Always.
Fundamentals, as in
Meaning there's a certain level of best practice that should not be compromised. Right. I think that's where the problem begins. That the most basic hygiene is not followed, and that just creates opportunity. So I think so. Institutionalizing, the fundamentals, and just having methodical, systematic ways to do that on a ongoing, what I call the Sadhu's progress cycle. It's not going to happen day one. It's not going to happen day two. But day 2 and 3 should be better than day 1. Right.
Yeah.
And you must have a program that constantly iterates and gets better.
Yeah. Right. So that it's more systemic.
Yes.
And with your genius on startups, you're on your 5th one. What's your advice to startup founders, like who are building startups of tomorrow?
Yeah, absolutely. So they are. I think the rate of change is increasing.
Yeah.
Right. And that's a constant too. 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years, every time. When I first started out, the rate of change was actually very small. It was not fundamental shifts happening at such a rapid pace.
Yeah.
And that is.
So you do believe the fundamental shifts are happening at a rapid pace now?
It is, because
You feel that?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Right. So it's changing. Things are changing, but change is the source of opportunity.
Yeah.
Right. Without change, there is no opportunity.
Yeah.
So this is perfect, and now you just have to make sure that the change that you're trying to exploit is not in another black hole's influence. Right. So that's the danger, because you can go back. Let's just rewind 1 year ago, and Google Gemini wasn't there, and I don't know how many people came up and said, email needs Gen AI so you can craft my emails and read my emails and do all this auto thing, and people thinking about agents for. Fast forward now, it's just there. So I think that's you need to have this some foresight to say, is it in the path of a black hole, and it's just going to get sucked up, right? That's because innovative engineers will say, yeah, hey, I know how to build a solution for a certain environment.
So this question, the gravity is moving from startups to big companies back. It had moved from big companies to startups in the last decade.
So you see that too, right?
Yeah, I'm seeing that. Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah.
That's great. On that intriguing note, thank you so much for the past hour or so which you spent here. I'm very grateful.
Pleasure and very insightful discussion. So
yeah, we'd love to have you back. Thank you so much.